So this episode in honor of Chaplain Capon, who, if you guys want to read, there's actually a YouTube mini series about it. So this guy, man, in Korea they were captured and they did a death march, and any soldier that fell, they executed on the spot. And Capon would carry soldiers and then go back and carry another one, and then run back, carry another one, so none of his soldiers would get killed on the death march. And then, yeah, man, he just endured. It is a really amazing story. Like he would get beat and tortured. He volunteered at the end. He ended up being executed 2 days before the liberation came. So he's a very amazing chaplain. He would sing hymns and songs and basically do mass because he was a Catholic priest. And the Koreans couldn't do anything, so they would strip him naked and put him in the middle of the rain out in the field, or in the concentration or whatever, the camp, the POW camp, and it would be raining, and he would just be singing and praising, and he carried his soldiers to the end. He's an awesome. So if you check it out, definitely on YouTube, it is an awesome thing. So I figured each episode will have a little bit of that. So welcome to the Gaming Chaplain. We'll officially get started. Wes will be joining us, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen a message from him. So what we'll do here is this will be streamed, and then we'll put the recording out there on YouTube. I'll throw that up probably tomorrow because I'll be too tired tonight. So we are a BattleTech role-playing group. If you like big, stompy robots and amazing space drama, BattleTech is for you. One person said it's like Game of Thrones in space, but I'm like, I think it's Game of Thrones is like BattleTech in the fantasy world. And then nobody knows what I'm talking about, so I have to go with the Game of Thrones reference.
I feel like making Game of Thrones comparisons after Season 8 is probably a bad idea.
I stopped after Season 4. I couldn't do it.
I haven't seen any of it. I just know it was bad.
Yeah, it was a big letdown, but there's still 6 really great seasons, I guess.
6. All right, so you guys have assembled. We start off the scene with you have just graduated, basically the equivalent of what is not basic training of where you would go from knowing nothing about mech combat to understanding it, but more along the lines of you are now kind of trained in the tactics and the excuse me as I die and choke on the Oreo 8.
We are all healthy. Hopefully we're all healthy.
Yeah.
You okay there?
Yeah.
Do we need to sanitize our earbuds now?
Just get this real quick. Just sanitize you real quick with some Lysol.
Yep, there we go.
All right. So you guys, real quick. I think we kind of went through the characters, but some hadn't picked. So just real quick, we'll start with Tim. You want to just let everyone know your name real quick?
Yeah, I'm Ivar McLeod. Born in the Ivar McLeod, a miner, comes from a miner noble family in Lyrian Commonwealth. Mother is a refugee from the Roselhog military district.
Ooh. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Anthony Griffin. So Robert.
Yep, that's me. I chose the preset character Anthony Griffin, found on page 82 of the BattleTech Mechwarrior PDF.
Beta rules.
Beta rules. So yeah, you can follow up a little bit more, but it sounds like this person was, I'm not entirely sure how to describe him, but definitely hardworking. That's what it sounds like. So yeah, good stuff.
Awesome. All right. And Iron Hand.
Iron Head.
Oh.
Head.
My bad.
Yeah. This guy, he likes to drink. He likes to hang out. He's loud. He's fun. Until he has a little downtime where he gets all wrapped up in his head, thinking about everyone all his friends that he lost and had died next to him. He just feels extremely guilty. He feels like he should die instead, but that's his own thing.
Okay.
He's a mercenary. He's used to jumping around, and he lives or dies for his Rough Riders, with his mercenary group. But if this is going to be his new family, he's going to view you the same as, he'll do everything he can for you, and he's all business on the battlefield.
Sweet. All right, Lance Dawes.
My character's Lance Dawes. He's from the FreeWorlds League. Kind of started out in the military of some undefined part of the FreeWorlds League, because I'm afraid BattleTech geography is not my strong suit, so I'm not sure exactly where. And I know in the FreeWorlds League that matters a lot more than another one, but kind of drifted out of there because he didn't really fit in well, and ended up moving into the mercenary world, and then through that into the Knights Lead the Way.
Mm. So is he bringing a lot of baggage?
He's not a people person, or at least he gets along with other people all that well person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we go through and we kind of learn through and we play the game, what we will do is develop our characters, and it's very fluid. We are using the beta rules for Mechwarrior. Sorry. I'm regretting all those Oreos. I figured I did a nice Hua workout, and this is a reminder. Just because you work out does not mean you should be eating Oreo cookies. Oh man. So the basic world that we're on is Kilarney, and the Kilarney is the home world. It's an off-world kind of Insarna.net, which is the, if you're new to the BattleTech world, it's amazing. I think it's the best wiki on wikis. I mean, it's awesome. But this particular planet, there's nothing really specific to the overall universe, and so we are kind of going to try to escape out of the overall universe of BattleTech. But I'll give a little bit of, a little bit of it for our new viewers and for those that are just joining us. So the year is 3015, and once again, the successor states are back at it fighting. The galaxy is a tinderbox, and the people of the inner sphere search for hope in what they know is in dark days ahead. Fathers and mothers across the inner sphere are kissing their children goodbye as they head off to war. Hope is desperately needed. When the Knights that Lead the Way was formed, their main goal was to bring hope and freedom in the Way. And the Way is a movement of basically what a true non-denominational movement, a religious movement to the inner sphere. And it's backed by a wealthy investor who knows peace can come to an end at the end of a PPC, or it can come through maybe the Way. So they founded this mercenary unit whose sole goal was to spread the Way throughout the inner sphere. This way they could take contracts that no one with a sound mind would take. The Knights would take contracts that would be low paying, or sometimes maybe they wouldn't be able to pay. So they come to an older world mindset. So think of, if you're familiar with the BattleTech world, you're going to think Knights of the Inner Sphere, kind of pre-3015. So they do this through the love and cherish of their fellow Inner-Spherians, and that's their main movement. They've sent out what they called their night missionaries to religious centers across the Inner Sphere, whether from Roman Catholics to, I think Ivor McLeod is a Norris. I think so, right? You're a Nord?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the beard for it, so he's got to be a Nord. I mean, that was kind of a deal breaker. Fun fact: if you're a Norse and you need to wear a beard, you can get a memo for that. Talk to your chaplain. So that is the purpose of the Knights. Their Colonel Patrick Morales, is the leader. He's a very soft-spoken but very also strong-willed man. So this is where the scene opens up. So we will go to...
What was the colonel's name again?
His name is Colonel Patrick Morales. So you all are standing at a basically formation. So you're all at formation. You're at essentially parade rest because you're about to get a speech. And the colonel steps up to the mic and takes to the field. So there's a simple tent building in the background. There's a center of operations of where you've utilized throughout your whole training here on Kilarney. But in the background behind you is kind of the ambiance adding to it is that old ancient Buddhist temple that you have become to know well. You've done lots of meditation in the Buddhist temple. You've done lots of services in the sense of how it fits into your service to the knights that lead the way. And if you think about it, in the typical awesome 80s movie magic across the bottom of our screen, that would in the green lettering, which if I can figure out, if I can find the bot for doing that, I'm doing that on our stream with all of our names, like when you talk somehow, that'd be awesome. And it says Kilarney 3015, first graduating class of knights. And the camera pans to the parade field with 36 newly graduated Mechwarriors in their dress uniforms, standing at parade rests as the colonel speaks to them. You have behind you your training cadre. And as you can see in the photo here, there's some dropships, and there's actually some visiting dignitaries of the house units, namely Leo and Steiner. They are visiting just because they were invited, and they sent a dropship just to, more as a token of appreciation. And yeah, exactly. How do you then? The one that's spinning everyone is now vomited.
Sweet.
Right, they're Liao.
Yeah. They're torturing their people inside of there as they speak. You are happy. You are very happy people. So, and then there's battle mechs kind of aligning the way. Nothing big, maybe a few atlases and a couple catapults. Nothing of major sorts. Just kind of sitting around the parade field, in the Knights' colors. So the colonel steps up to the microphone. He says, "You are the first of a movement that will change the inner sphere. Your life no longer belongs to you, it belongs to your God and the way. Through this strength, you will evangelize the way to the inner sphere. You are the hope for the universe, rife with war and corruption. While the great houses seem fit to play politics and grab for power and possessions, and they neglect the needy and allow bandits, criminals, and states to marginalize people, we will stand with the people. The rulers have lost their way of this once great Star League area. Some will say, what can one unit do? What can a paid for hire group of misfits from across the inner sphere do? What power can they wield that will make one difference? Who do they think they are, they'll ask us. And you will respond, Knights, lead the way. And you guys all respond in cadence, all 36. You will look at them and say, I come with the power of the way and my God. We wield the power of the Almighty, the way, and the power of a battle mech. The way is the light in which the inner sphere will heal, and we will return to the glory of the Star League once and for all. Alright, so this is going to be metagame right here. For those watching, you know what's going to be happening. A little bit of a twinkling to you. When the great General Kerensky left the inner sphere, he knew it was his only choice because of the hate and greed that had infested the whole inner sphere. And while we had hoped one day that these great warriors would return, it is now up to the knights to lead the way across the inner sphere. Knights, you are the beginning of the cure. Knights, you are the beginning of the light. Knights, you are leading the way. Go therefore and serve the way in all you can. Your God has called you to this now and forever. And in the 2 seats over, you hear the Command Sergeant Major, which is about a 7'8" guy, stand up in his bulk and mass, and you just hear him yell, Battalion, attention! And you all come to attention. The CSM looks around, smiles, and then yells, dismissed! And now, you all are dismissed, and obviously, since you don't have too many family or anything, the crowd kind of claps, the dignitaries stand, music plays, and kind of the fanfare begins.
Was he giving like the whole the houses are corrupt and bad thing in front of the house dignitaries?
Oh yeah, he didn't give a crap. Yeah. Hence the irony of doing that. Yeah.
Okay, just
so you guys are able to kind of like, you know, with your classmates and kind of talk around, and after about 15 minutes, the 6 of you are tapped on the shoulder and said, hey, Colonel Morales would like to see you in his office. Please get there on ASAP. And I'm assuming everyone goes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. There's always that one dude in the game who's like, oh no, I'm gonna go to the bar. Like,
Starts off trying to steal a battle mech.
Yeah. Oh, I'm jumping in the Atlas and running off the. No, please don't. Oh, I thought this was role playing. Okay, all right. All right. So as you guys kind of all gather into Colonel Morales' office, it's himself and the CSM, Command Sergeant Major, which is Command Sergeant Major Das, D-A-S-S, and last name is Mannix, M-A-N-N-I-X. So the 6 of you, or the 5 of you, we'll just assume Wes is with you all. You know what? Let me just ping him real quick.
Good idea. Because I didn't see him respond in the chat.
Hey, just to clarify, so on Discord, you don't have a camera view of you. It's just the background image thing. Is that supposed to be that way?
Yeah, because my camera's being used in the in Twitch.
In the Twitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah, Twitch. It does earlier when I was testing it, I could see myself in both, but I'm not messing with it right now. All right. So okay, if he's able to jump in, we'll take him from there. So Colonel Morales kind of sits back in his chair. He's a little bit somber, and he looks at you. Please have a seat, gentlemen. Have a seat. There's an ancient text that says, if one doesn't take care of his own house, he's worse than a person who hates God. Your mission, right out of basic training, is to cleanse our house here on Kilarney. This planet was once peaceful, and we know it is filled with people who follow their faith, they love each other, but it's riddled with crime and hatred. And now we have a quarter of the population addicted to narcotics, and this is all due to one mafia family, the Magnus family. This bleak market, this bleak mark on the planet must be dealt with. A mafia has no place on our home planet. Your mission is to change this. The Command Sergeant Major will brief you on this. So the Command Sergeant Major kind of stands. He's, no matter how relaxed the Colonel is, this dude just, the bulking, oh. Who did we lose? Oh, there we go. Wow. That stinks. I think we lost Jacob. We lost Michael, then we lost Jacob.
I'm still here. At least I think I am.
Yeah, you're back now.
I hear you.
I think it was just maybe a network issue. So
Yeah, I'm seeing Jacob's the red one on Tabletop Simulator.
J Buttons.
I think.
No, that's me. That's Tim. Is the red one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm. You guys hear me through the tabletop?
Yep.
Yeah.
Through tabletop
Yeah.
and Discord.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the Discord. Just like freaked out. Now I can only see. I believe it's Tim. I can't see anybody else.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh wait. All right. Here we go. All right. Yeah. Everything's back.
Sweet.
There we go.
Okay.
Back.
Yep.
So the CSM kind of stands up there, and he's I mean, the dude's muscles are just rippling. It's insane. In the
Awesome.
sense of that fear presence, which is Command Sergeant Major is so good at. And he kind of looks down, and he's got this gruff voice, probably from yelling every day of his life. I would say you all have a love-hate relationship for him. I mean, he's the one that yelled at you all the time, every day of your life, for the past 3 months. So, but he's surprisingly nice now. It's almost like a fatherly type yelling now, not instead of like a mean yell, if you get what I mean. He says, we have yet to deal with this problem since arriving. We know we would have to have our top cadets deal with this. We want our new troops to clean our own house because we want this to be your home as much as it is our home. So the main source of the problems are centered around Governor Theo allowing Simon Magnus and his mafia family to run things. His main exports are drugs and black market weapons. We think he has a biological weapons plant somewhere here on planet in the Highlands, but we haven't been able to find the location. Your mission, you are all the top graduates of this class. You are on to unleash the full power of the Knights to cleanse our house. I will note all your battle mechs are still being finalized and will be operational in 30 days. You will not be able to go to war if they do have battle mechs. So stave off until next episode. Starting
Tune in
any
next
mech
week.
battles. What questions do you have at this time? So you have the following informational sources to go with. You've got the Command Sergeant Major, you've got your XO because the Colonel left, and you've got your Intel officer, you've got your personnel, and then you got your supply officer as well.
Do we have any sort of information from inside? I had his name for a second there.
The Simon
Big Boss, what's his face's organization? Do we
Simon
have anyone?
Magnus.
Yeah, Magnus, right.
No, not at this time. So the intel officer, who is a lieutenant colonel, his name is Lieutenant Colonel William Laud, who is your intel officer. So Laud stands forward, and he's a very robust man, but he's also he's about 5'6" and about 200 pounds solid mass. He's not fat. He's solid. He goes, no.
All right, good talk. How big? Do we have an idea how big this mob is? Does it extend more than family, or is it a close knit group?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Lieutenant Colonel Beckett, Thomas Beckett, kind of steps forward. He's about 6'3", 6'4", kind of gangly guy, super friendly. He's like, you know what, Ironhead? Good question. I really appreciate your question. You have great questions. I'm really, really proud of that question. Now, we don't have anybody in there, but that was a good question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
He's like, you're welcome. Very good. Very good. So the XO proceeds to say, listen, what we do know is that every major city on this planet has some type of footprint of the Magnus family. Every single city. So there's 3 main city hubs in Kilarney. So the first one is St. Patrick, which is the oldest city on here. It predates back to the Star League. So this is filled with various taverns, churches, historic tours, distilleries. This is where the whiskey and all the tourists of Kilarney was. St. Patrick looks like you step back into the 1500s, the 1600s of Ireland. It's really awesome, really beautiful, but it's also fallen on to some hard times because it's got the manufacturing and where once the distilleries were, they're now filled with drug production facilities. Then you have Ireland, and Ireland is kind of the medical and university center of the planet. You have 3 big things there. That is Trinity College, which is where their main focus is agriculture and biology, is their main kind of focus. It's it's a local planet, college. It's nothing like New Avalon or anything, famous. There's Cary General, which is a hospital facility and ICU and other critical matters. Basically, it's the hospital of it. There's other treatment centers across the planet, but Cary General is the main area. And then you have the Celtic Academy. So this is the local militia training academy. However, because it's been overseen by Governor Leo, this has basically been hijacked to serve the needs of the Magnus family. They don't have anything that's comparable to a battle mech force, but they are famous for their anti-mech abilities and training. And it's very common for a platoon to be able to take down a mech by themselves. They've been able to force bigger adversities to remove from the field. Then there's Dublin, and Dublin it's only about 100 years old. It's the metro center. It's kind of where the casinos are. Think Las Vegas, because it's very casino entertainment. But the XO kind of lets you know, hey, this is more of, in there, they're dealing more with human trafficking and selling of people rather than anything else, besides the obvious, entertainment industry of, normal recreational drugs and stuff.
So one other question with what you said about the militia, and you said the governor has allowed Magnus and his crew to work. I take it from what you said regarding the militia that that's less allowed as in didn't take action and more allowed as in is actively complicit with.
Actively complicit with. He hasn't made any
Incoming transmission.
any steps to prevent it,
Incoming transmission.
and publicly he looks indifferent, but behind the scenes he is actually like funneling them, allowing them to the corruption to take over because he's getting rich off of it.
Okay. So we probably can't rely on local law enforcement and other organizations to either work with us or work with us and stay loyal.
Yeah, I would say you would. Lieutenant Colonel Law kind of steps in and he goes, "I wouldn't trust anyone on this planet outside of your fellow knights. Right now, Leo, Governor Leo, if you really want to call him that, is so corrupt and so bent on making money that that's the only thing you can count on. It's his greed and his ability to mistreat people to make his own plight better."
Well, we could go break his leg.
And you hear the command sergeant major kind of like, "Yep, mm-hmm." All right, so you got your S4, which is your supply officer. Do you guys, Captain Francis? Anyone need anything? Like you can ask him about supplies or any gear or anything like that. And then your personnel, if you want to like get anybody to do anything else in the regiment or in the battalion, Major Dennis Mager. Can help you fulfill that and get you, if you wanted someone to do like aerospace flight or hacking into the government feed or anything, he would be the one to do that for you. So, as you guys are kind of like strategizing and talking with them, this heavy-set lady with these, she looks like she's wearing a tapestry from, like a very ugly tapestry as a dress or as a business suit type thing. It's horrendous. She smells like a casino, and she sneaks her head in the room. She's like, "Excuse me. Don't forget, I need to see all these people first. They have to sign their paperwork." So,
do we recognize this person?
Yes, begrudgingly, you do. So this is Nancy Prudent, and Nancy Prudent is kind of the civilian that they hired locally to do all of your paperwork and such. And she is annoying and terrible at her job, but they kind of like took pity on her. So you guys are all ushered into a room, which is her office, and she is not nice at all.
Why would she be?
So she looks at you and she's like, "Okay, I need to know your medical history and everything else before you leave, and you need to tell me where you're going at all times on these missions so I can account for it, and your payroll is fine. If you don't tell me where you're going, I'm not responsible if you don't get paid." This may be too real. She is your typical HR person. All right. So the where you guys want to go is kind of up to you. The XO suggests, starting in one city or another and kind of systematically looking, or maybe hacking into the government net and trying to work it from there. The capital and sorry, the capital of the city is St. Patrick, but Ireland has more of the government, like modern facilities, just because it's tied to the college and the hospital. But like the governor's mansion and all that stuff is in St. Patrick because it's a big, beautiful like castle.
That, like, don't trust anyone outside of your fellow knights. Does that include her as part of the people we shouldn't trust, or is she clear?
She is think of her like a government employee that like works, that they hired, and she is not a knight, and she is not in briefings, and she is an HR specialist.
So I'm hearing a no.
I am not confirming nor denying that as maybe part of the game. Now, Tim, do you work in HR? Because I apologize if I'm offending you.
No.
Oh, okay. I know all the other ones don't. I know no one else does, but I'm like, wait, maybe I hope I'm not offending Tim. But so yeah, so she does not work. She is basically there. She worked at the temple doing some administrative work, and they kind of just said, okay, well, when they landed, they kind of utilized her skills.
Why say we go to St. Patrick if anybody else is in?
Sounds like a
How
plan.
do the locals feel about us being there?
I'd say yes, snoop around St. Patrick first, but like don't tell Nancy that we're going there to snoop. Just say like, oh yeah, we were gonna go like see the sights and go bar crawling and that.
Yeah, we just graduated, for crying out loud. You know, we're
Right.
going to live it up a little bit.
Sure, we need a drink.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say you're able to do that. And the locals, you haven't really interacted with them. You'll see as you get in there. It's a typical. You'll see when you get into towns. There's each different area is going to react different to you.
Are
So, quick
other
question.
knights with us? Like, I'm assuming we're not the only people who would have the idea to go to old school Ireland and get drunk. Or,
No, the whole planet's drunk most of the time.
Yeah, but the only people from our group who would be, I'm assuming there would be other knights going there, and not just us.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it would depend
Okay.
depends on their denominations, right? So the Catholics are out there at the pub already. But like if your character, no one chose Islam as their character, but like the command sergeant major, he's a Muslim, so he wouldn't be out of the pub. So it's all kind of in their character who they are. So yeah, some folks are going out to the pub, some people are not.
I don't know. No, the Baptists might be out there and just like staring at the people in the bars, judging them silently. You never know.
Depends on if they're Southern or they're the Gospel Baptists. So yeah, it depends on it, right? So yeah, there's a little like town about 20 minutes away from you guys. That you guys, it's nothing big. It's just kind of a small little, there's it's basically Quincy. Where it's got your big shopping center, it's got your homes, it's got your house. But it's nothing of big.
Is that on the way to either of the destinations, the St. Patrick City?
No, I would say it's kind of right outside of. I wouldn't say you would hit it on your way, because you're going to take either it's going to be a long drive, or you'll use a vertical takeoff and landing, a VTOL, to get to whichever one you want to get to.
All right, it's a group decision. Do you guys want to go to the small town first and then hit the big city, or do you want to unwind in a small town?
Well, since I'd lean towards I'd lean towards going to the big city first, just because there's going to be probably more stuff there to look into and try and generate some leads.
Okay.
Yeah, say St. Patrick first.
Okay. Yeah, so Nancy takes all your documentation, she makes you sign a bunch of paperwork, and she ushers you out of her office. And as each one of you leaves, she's like, "Congratulations!" And she hands you like it's basically a pen that says "Knights lead the way," and it's really nice. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. I guess you get one too. And then she goes back to her desk. So
I inspect the pen to see if there's any sort of machinery that's gonna like some tracking device.
yeah, I mean, I would say you're gonna have to roll for that one. So what I would
be?
So
What
all right.
what attribute would be intelligence?
So yeah, or if you have knowledge, like your knowledge, like drinking games on your sheet.
My knowledge is drinking games.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
Not gonna help me out here.
Definitely not drinking. I guess. I mean, maybe. I'm. All right. So yeah. So what you'll do is, I mean, you'll grab 2d6 plus your intelligence, and I mean it's gonna be. I'm gonna roll 2, and we'll see which one gets a higher roll, and we'll go from there. First roll. Okay. So
How do you roll dice in this?
So you just pick them up and then shake them, highlight them,
And then
and then shake them.
okay.
I got a 6.
Okay. So plus your intelligence would definitely beat the 5 I rolled. So as you crack the pen open and you're kind of looking around, you tap it a little bit, out falls a little RFID.
Interesting. I'd be like, anybody else have one of these in their pens?
And you all do. Now,
So, do we destroy them or do we hold on to them just for the sake of whatever she's trying? Like, maybe we're trying to get her in like a trap or something. Maybe we should keep them and not destroy them right off the bat, so it looks a little suspicious.
Yeah, we should probably hang on to them. I'm thinking if it's an RFID, like, can we like scan it and see what information's on there?
what were you saying, Tim?
I was saying, yeah, seems like we should hang on to them at least till we get to the city.
Oh no, I'm leaving this in my bunker or something here in place. I'm not keeping this on me.
Okay. Now you could go to your S4, your supply office, and talk to him because I mean all things would be issued. I mean he's you've found him. You know his name's Francis, Captain Francis. He's been pretty super nice so far to you through your whole thing. Like even when you were in training, he would like sneak you power bars and energy drinks when you're really tired. You can always you have him as an option to like kind of talk about materials.
I feel like there's no subtle way to ask him, hey, so how come our pens are full of spy stuff?
Hey, man.
We could maybe say that we accidentally dropped one of them and it, magically broke, or not magically, but, landed on the wrong spot and broke open, and we noticed a little suspicion inside of one, maybe.
That's good. I like that. We'll go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you all gonna go to the S4 office?
Yeah. Well,
So-
only show him one, obviously, because if we all show him, every single one of ours, it'd be kind of weird,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like only one of us should go. Because it'd be weird like, if we all stomp in there, like following the one guy around to figure out the story behind his broken pen.
That's a good idea, yeah. I mean, we just met each other. We're not even close friends, so it definitely seemed a little bit weird if we all just went together as a group. So one of us.
Well,
should
you guys
definitely
are
just go.
all pretty close. I mean, you've spent the past 3 months sweating in mechs and sweating through PT early morning.
Oh,
Yeah, you all are pretty well acquainted with each other.
okay.
Yeah, you would know each other. You would be annoyed at each other. At some point, you've probably all, been sick of each other at some point because you've been stuck on here for 3 months. training, you know, with the command sergeant major yelling a lot at you. A lot.
All right. Well,
So-
I still think one of us should definitely just go.
Okay.
I have
Or the
like
one.
anti-social skills, so I should not be the one going.
Yeah, kind of same here.
I will piss him off even though he's a nice guy. Ironhead's like cracking a beer. I got this. Drinking games begin.
Yeah, let's go see if he wants to have a chat.
Okay, so sure. So you walk in. So it's in the next building over, and you walk into a very neatly arranged. Basically, it's a giant Connex, like those big shipping boxes. It's like 15 of those put together. So it's almost like a warehouse, but it's various metal containers everywhere with cages and equipment everywhere. And as you kind of walk into it, the kind of that smell of warehouse, that like distinct warehouse smell kind of comes over you. I like it. And you hear him kind of just humming to himself and, almost, actually give me a, give me an intelligence roll. Kind of an intelligence, like an int roll and a, perception roll, if you would.
Be a total of 8.
Okay. So you actually hear him talking, and he's like, "Oh, my little friend, I just adore you're so wonderful. Oh, it's so great to hear you singing. Thank you so much for singing." And you hear a bird singing in the background.
How cute.
So, yeah, he's talking to the animals, the mice and the birds that are flowing into his warehouse.
He's losing his grip.
So as you walk up to him, he's like, "Oh, Ironhead. Did I say that right? Ironhead?"
Sure did, Captain.
Captain. Oh, and as you see, he's actually in a monk robe. Like, he's got a hood, and he's got it's on the back, and you can see the top of his head has got that circle thing that you would think I would know, and I can't remember what it's called.
No, old school. All right.
But yeah, he's got the old school monk hat, and he's like, I am so happy that you're here. What can I do for you?
The darndest thing happened. This pen slipped out of my hand, and I found this. I don't know what this is. It looks like some sort of machinery inside my pen that doesn't belong there. Can you tell me what it is?
And he looks at you, and he looks down at the pen, and his eyes widen. And let me see. Yeah, he's not able to mask his surprise and awe. He's very concerned, washes over his face, and he looks at you and says, "Where did you get this?"
Nancy
Yep. It's
P. Prudent something
Nancy
from
Prudent.
the HR.
Why did she give you this pen?
Only the Lord knows, man.
I'm afraid that this is a receiving device and a tracking device. I don't know how familiar you are with technology.
No idea, unless I'm in a cockpit.
This is very concerning. Did anyone else receive one of these types of pens?
There was a bunch of us. We all got pens. They all look the same. But, mine was the only one that happened to slip out of my hand.
Let's see. I'm going to look up what a deception roll, because I want to see if he can, not like maliciously see if he's trying to just, like you're deceiving him, but perception test. So int plus will. Yeah, give me an int plus will roll.
So that's just we roll dice and then add our intelligence and will to that.
Yeah, Yeah, roll.
Okay.
Yeah. So what'd you get?
Total of 6.
Let's see what he rolls. Yeah, he's like, I sense you're being coy, and you are trying to protect something.
Okay, that's how it works.
And he puts his hand on your shoulder, kind of like, and you feel this like, almost like when you're out drinking with your buddies, and they put your hand, like it's that type of level of like, oh man, like this dude knows what I'm talking about, but he's not drunk and you're not drunk, so it's a little weird to you. So.
But
He's
I get like a trusting feeling from the
Yeah,
guy.
exactly. Yeah. And
Well, I'll just let him know. I'll be like, yeah, we all have pens. We all know. We all know what's inside all the pens.
he's like, I'm glad you brought this to my attention. He goes, fear not, for I will help you take care of this. This is very disconcerting. Yes, this is very disconcerting. Please have everyone come here and bring their pens with them, please.
Do we happen to have microphone or like walkie-talkies on us, or is there a?
I've got a personal communicator as one of my inventory items.
Yeah, I would say you've all. If you don't, he can give them to you because he's the supply officer. So.
Oh, wait.
Well, you can just like make an announcement over the PA, you know.
Yeah.
Lance Dawes, please come to supply. Grab the wrong thingamajig or whatever.
So not to distract from our game, but Robert, that's a pretty impressive dice tower that you created there, guy. This is pretty impressive.
I didn't mean to distract, and I did think anyone would notice.
That is pretty awesome.
Thank you.
I like
Thank you
how
very
it's color
much.
coordinated per color too. It's
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you. I tried very hard.
So
Put all my effort.
yeah, so all of you get alerts on your communicators. Hey, it's Captain Francis. Can you all please come to the supply office? I need to talk with you all. So I'm hearing my voice in the Twitch feed just so I can make sure audio. And doing Francis's voice is a lot more high pitched over the internet than I'm actually realizing. It's pretty high. I'm not meaning to go that high pitched. I'm trying to like a Franciscan monk, like soft spoken, and it's now coming out like a 12-year-old schoolgirl.
I mean, I don't know any Franciscan monks, so that could be how they talk as far as we know.
They're actually
Good
pretty
point.
cool guys. I went to Benedictine University, so and you got to have dinner with them if you wanted. They're some funny dudes. So you guys all get I'm assuming you all are going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm assuming we'd come.
Yeah.
Would he also call like a couple random guys to see if we're the only people who got pens? Or would it just be us? Right.
No,
Like,
since
how did we see like a whole pile of pens in her desk, or did she just hand us one, and we don't know if anyone else outside
she was
of
handing
us
them
got
to
pens?
you like one at a time as you came out the door.
Okay. It doesn't really matter.
So as you guys arrive, anyone not bringing their pen with them, just let me know. So as you kind of arrive into his office, he greets you and he says, "Thank you so much to this brave Mechwarrior, Ironhead. He came to me and said, 'Look at what I have found in this pen. And I'm concerned that your pens might be the same. So please open your pens.'" And he kind of points to his desk and he's like, "Tap them out and see if these transponders are in your pens."
Yeah, I do so.
I do so.
I tell him I threw mine away as soon as she gave it to me.
And he kind of looks at you. He's like, "I like you, McLeod. Wise, beyond your years are you. Yes." And he hands you a chocolate, like candy bar. He's like, "Oh, we lost Jake again." He's like, "I think you'll enjoy this."
I thank him and put it in my pocket.
And as you notice it, as you look through it, it's actually bourbon flavored chocolate with real bourbon, because he can. So, meta note: this is your supply officer, so anything you want, he gives you whatever you want. He's kind of a free, he's one of those supply officers that just doesn't really keep track of everything, but somehow everything always equals out, and you always get what you need. So he's able to easily do that. So he kind of takes him out, and then you see him pull a hammer out of nowhere and just, just starts going to town on this stuff. Except for one. He saves one in order to basically keep it and kind of analyze it and see what it is. He's like, thank you so much. So he looks at you very gravely concerned. And you've interacted like when you got your uniforms and stuff. He looks very concerned and says, I'm very concerned that you were given tracking devices from a non-knight. We will need to look into this. Now, Ironhead said that Nancy Prudent gave it to you. Is this true?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Blame her.
Interesting. This is very interesting. Now, I need you not to mention this to anyone outside of senior staff. And if Nancy gives you anything else, bring it over to me, and we'll X-ray it first. Because all supplies come through.
Talk to Nancy about this. And as I say this, I'm gonna be toying with my stun stick. We could go collect her. Ask her about this.
Yeah, she might be working for the mob. You know.
This is true.
I never would have thought we would have a deceiver. He kind of looks at Lance, and he kind of like looks towards McLeod more and says, "Be more like McLeod, subtle, and less beat somebody with a baton initially. I'm not saying not do it, but don't go stunner." Because I'm assuming you were zapping it a little bit as you were flipping it around.
Yeah, maybe like hold it up and just click the on button a little bit.
Okay. So as you guys kind of generate, get that through there, he says, now, concerning your mission, do you need anything? And have you guys seen Boondock Saints?
No.
Heard of it.
Long time ago.
This is a sad moment. Wow.
A little bit.
All right, so there's a scene in Boondock Saints that this is going to play out. So behind him, he kind of reaches behind him and flicks two light switches, and behind him, like, tung, 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 you just see all these cages light up with all this weaponry. And it's pretty much, you even got, like, what looks like some type of portable 50 cal, which, in 3015 is you wear it and you're able to pump, 50 cal downrange, and it's pretty lightweight and it's, pretty effective. Do you need any weapons before you go on your mission? Just let me know if you do. And you can feel free to check it out. Just make sure you sign out your receipt and you'll be fine.
Oh, so do we already have the weapons on our that we got during character creation, or no?
You do, but he's just offering you more.
So anything. We can take anything. We just have to sign it out.
Yeah.
What other weapons were there?
Yeah, he basically, he's like, this, and he holds up, like, he starts walking through, he's like, and he pulls out, like, this grenade. He goes, this is a very non-violent grenade. All it does is shoot out these little rubber balls with studs that electrify people and shocks, so within a 15-foot radius, nobody's going to die. They're just going to fall to the ground and twitch for a couple hours.
I feel like that could be useful.
I'm just saying.
That sounds handy.
Especially if we're just going in, just for maybe surveillance into the city. We don't want to cause anything too bad. So.
Yeah.
So this is kind of more metagame, but as you guys go through the game, if you want to look through the weapons, I can't remember which page they're on. I'm trying to pull up the doc. I'll pull it up later. You could say you grabbed it, so that way it fits in the storyline.
I'm feeling pretty good as far as weapons. Got a rifle, got a melee weapon. It's
I should be good. I got.
on here anyway.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask for like a stun baton. You know, something that's like easily hideable.
Cool. Yeah, you're able to get a stun baton. You're it's an expendable one or collapsible one about the size of your palm that you can hold, and it'll spring out, and you'll be able to do that. It's not a problem at all.
Cool.
So as he goes, and have you all been notified your mechs are not available? I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I will have them ready within about 2 weeks.
Yeah, no,
we were
mentioned
notified.
that.
Okay. Cool. So as you guys are kind of rounding out, anything you guys want to do as far as intel, hack satellites, or anything before you head out to the town of Saint Patrick?
Oh, could we hack into the police network or something from here, or would we have to do that at a station or somewhere?
So yeah, you could go into and make a request in the S3 office, which is the personnel, to have someone kind of task you with whatever thing you'd want to do intel-wise. Because you guys will be the strike team, but you're going to still have the backup of that. And that's going to be kind of the difference between us just doing a tabletop game and the role-playing. So during mech battles, artillery and aerospace fighters will be at your disposal. So to kind of think in that sense of you're the heroes of this game with a full battalion backing you during this.
Nice.
So
I'd say have someone try and hack police networks or something, because even if they're not really going after the mob, they should be interacting with them enough that there will be information, even if it's just on some guy's desk complaining about how the mayor ordered them to leave something or other alone, or that kind of thing.
yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. So you guys are able to actually kind of head over to the S3 office. So Major Dennis Mager is there. He's got kind of a New York accent. He's kind of pouring over it. He's got a big bald spot from the center of it. But he's got his yarmulke because he's Jewish. He no longer pilots mechs because he's lost his leg during one of the battles that nobody talks about. So he kind of sees you all, and he's like, "Oh," he's like, "Hey, how you doing?"
How you doing?
So what can I do for you before you head out on your big mission? You all excited?
Well, we were wondering if there's anything you can pull out of the police networks
Oh, you betcha.
in St. Patrick.
Oh, St. Patrick, huh? Let me see. Timmy! And he pulls over, and I just randomly picked Tim because it was on the name list, Tim, and not you, Tim. My bad. I'm going to change that name to, let's call him, let's see, another name generator. Nolan. No, Preston sounds even worse. Preston! Yeah, Preston. Hey, Preston, come over here. And over comes one of the techs. And Preston kind of looks at you and he's like, "Yes, what do you want?"
That was the perfect voice. Preston, would you be able to do us a couple favors?
Yeah, what?
We need some information on, a whole group of people.
Okay, a whole bunch of people. That's so wonderful. You Mechwarriors are so wonderfully intelligent. I need intel on a whole bunch of people. Oh, yeah. Alive, dead, Earth,
This Magnus
Revlon.
family.
I mean, what?
Anything you can tell us, buddy? Let's see where they operate. Where are they not? Where are they not? We start there. Then we know where they are.
Oh yeah, that intel we have off the hat, and he kind of like goes over to his desk, shuffles through some stuff. As you guys see him kind of shuffling through it, like his desk is, you may or may not want to touch the files he's going to give you. It's just, there's candy, there's chocolate, there's bread, there's some spilled juice, and like he hands you a file folder and he goes, "Which one are you wanting?"
I guess I'll reach out.
So you take it.
There's gotta be somewhere to wash my hands.
There's some gum on it, actually. You know, there's just chips and
I'm a
stuff.
scrawny nerd, and even I want to like beat this guy up and take his lunch money. That was out of character, just to be clear.
So, and so in the intel, they list kind of like the main. There's a couple main distilleries that have been turned into drug facilities in St. Patrick. There is where a lot of the deals for off-worlders that are coming to buy the drugs are go down at St. Peter's Pub, which is an uppity type of throwback pub to Ireland, a typical Irish pub, but it's mainly used by only the people that have very well money. It's not the low end real pubs. This is made to look like the other pubs that are people don't want to go to, so that they feel. What else do you need? Anything else?
Do you know what kind of drugs they're making? Like with what chemicals they have? More specifically, if any of those chemicals happen to be explosive or flammable?
Yeah, the battle tech or the battle mech fuel, which is basically equivalent to our meth. They use all sorts of stuff that you'd use in battle mech production, hence the battle mech fuel. It basically, you become addicted after one use, and they've been known to explode when raided. Or if they accidentally mix the wrong chemical at the wrong time, and then everyone dies.
Okay, that should work.
Nice.
Yeah, so St. Peter's is in St. Patrick. The rest I'll have to get back to you. So for game notes, you can call back to Preston a couple times throughout the game, and he can gather data for you, or he can feed stuff. You could also use your edge point to activate Preston's knowledge to you. So let's say like you arrive at St. Peter's and you think you see somebody, you could take a picture of him, send it back to Preston, and he can run the database for you and immediately get back to you one thing per edge point. Make sense?
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So he kind of goes back and he opens up like a bag of chips and he like walks past McLeod and he kind of sniffs them and he's like, "Did you get a bourbon chocolates bar? They're so good." And he goes back to his desk and like just starts eating some chips.
So, just to make sure, can he look up any sort of file, or is it just sort of like police records?
Yeah, I mean, he's your basic, hacker. That's kind of your IT hacker person.
Okay. Super totally off topic and random question. What do you know about Nancy Pruden?
And he kind of turns back and he fixes his eyes. Who? And he kind of looks back.
I put the chocolate bar on his desk. And ask him again.
And he kind of sits up and he's like, "Now we're talking."
Thank you. Thank you for adding
She
chocolate.
smells like the inside of a casino. What else do you want to know?
Something everyone else on the base doesn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know of anything particular at this moment. I can look into her records, but I would assume she was hired and cleared.
Okay. Well, if you find anything interesting, let us know. And if you let us know, maybe we can see if we can get some more of those chocolate bars, if we happen to find any.
Does the commander know about this?
He sure does.
All right. Give me a charismatic and will roll for that one, and he'll do the same.
So I'm rolling 2 sets of dice.
Yep, 2 sets, and then your WIL and your CHA. Add those together, and we'll.
Isaac, let me select 4 dice.
Oh, your dice tower collapsed.
Yeah, yeah. It was time for the regime to fall. So.
No, only 2 die, dude.
Oh, only 2? Oh,
Yeah.
that's my bad. Here, let me just select the
I
coolest
think you
ones.
did say 2 sets.
Oh,
Yeah,
my bad.
I asked
my,
2
Yeah,
sets,
my bad.
yeah.
That's my bad.
That's okay. Okay, so I have a will and charisma. Both are 2.
Okay.
So altogether that's 4 plus 4.
So 8.
So yeah, 8.
And tie, and you will get the win. So yeah, so
Awesome.
he's like, okay, sounds good. Is there a classification to this?
A classification?
I mean, does anybody? Should I just give it to any of you? Can my boss know? Who needs to know about this when I run this report? I mean, I'm
Just-
investigating somebody in the unit.
Yeah, give it to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
And he kind of writes it on a sticky note. He's like- and he goes,
Try to keep that sticky note hidden, please.
Oh, I forgot to write it in my code. And he kind of like erases it and crumbles it up, throws it away, and then writes another like cryptic message that it looks like it's in binary almost. Can
Thank
you
you
read
for
that?
encrypting. Thank you.
So he
Much
will investigate it. It'll take him, I would say, how much information are you looking for him to know? That'll determine how long.
Just how, well, at least I want to know how exactly she got into, or how she got hired.
Like
That's
a background check, basically.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that will be available next game. Probably it'll take him about 24 hours of
Okay.
game time.
Oh, good. I'm hoping he'll have something by the time we're done in St. Patrick.
So yeah, by the time you're touching down there, he'll have the info probably. So what I'll do
Okay.
is, in the Excel sheet with all the players' names and such, I have a list of NPCs, and I'll have the names and then any tasks that you have them doing, and then the time, and then like the rounds, how much round it's going to take.
Okay. Everyone put on your shopping list bourbon chocolate bars, just so I don't forget.
All right, I got a note of it.
All right.
Yeah, so he is pretty much like he loves you guys. He loves McLeod particularly because of the bourbon chocolate bar. But in addition, you guys are pretty set forward. So basically, as you guys are kind of wrapping up, like Mager comes back and he's like, "So, what else you need? You need anything else, my boy Preston? He hook you up?"
This is the supply guy, right?
No, this is the personnel.
Oh, personnel lady.
Yeah,
No.
S3 personnel officer.
I'm good. You
Yeah.
You have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.
We just gotta figure out, we're gonna get a vehicle, or are we taking one of those
Oh, that's a
jump
better
ships or
question.
something?
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
take a vertical takeoff. You'll take a helicopter there.
Okay.
So you guys are able to gear up. As you guys kind of gear, you bring some supplies. You bring,
While we're gearing up, I'm going to make sure I bring some explosives.
yeah, go for it.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Sweet, yeah. I mean, it depends on like how much
Ideas are good.
ruck. As you guys are kind of like getting out there. Francis has provided rucksacks. I mean, you guys have all sorts of gear. You have listening gear if you want. I mean. You pretty much deck yourself out whichever way you'd want to. And so, like, if you don't have something in the future, you can always just spend a point of edge for the game and have it. Like, hey, I want a boom mic with a laser. Like, that's fine. That's kind of the edge Edge is kind of also to re-roll dice, but I kind of play. I like Edge to kind of give you that edge in battle as well. If that makes sense. If you guys are cool with that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Just have it be just a generic do a thing resource.
Exactly. So in the beta rules, they give out like little tokens, but I was trying to find a way to do that. But when we switch scenes, I'd have to like transfer over. So instead of every scene every scene I switch to, there's dice, but so this way I don't have to keep track of those tokens. So it's just kind of based on your edge. So that's the kind of the mechanic I'm basing it off of. So anyone that's at Catalyst, kudos to you for the system. That's just something we're kind of house ruling. Yeah, so without further ado, you guys, you load up. You're able to get everything near the deck, near the VTOL, and take it off there. And yeah, so as you guys are gearing up, you have one more person that kind of stops in to visit you. The Major Thekla, she kind of comes to you as you guys are gearing. You guys are kind of like in the near the hangar bay. This is like pre-launch. The helicopters, the VTOL's spinning up, and Major Thekla comes to you, and she's a medical doctor, and she kind of walks up to you and she looks at you all, and she goes, "All of you remember what you're doing. I don't want anyone drinking, and I don't want to hear of any drunken brawls or any other broken bones. Because if I and my team have to fit broken bones because of your drunkenness, I'm not going to fix you. Okay, I will, but I'm not going to like it.
I can promise you we won't be getting any drunken brawls.
I don't want to have to remove the beer again from the mess hall because you failed to meet standards, so don't get fat out there either."
Wow, that's brutal.
Ironhead's like sipping.
I'm not gonna say a word. Don't want to get a fight before we leave,
So yeah, so Major Thekla is your medical doc, and kind of biologist and all that stuff as well. Think of her like I kind of based her. Have you guys seen the Blues Brothers at least?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know the nun in the beginning when she's the one that's whacking the.
Yes.
That's my picture of her. Is this prudent, like super helpful, but she will beat you upside the head if you don't make PT standards or height and weight or if you're drunk. So.
So basically, don't get hurt under any circumstances.
Right, yeah, unless you're in combat, then she doesn't mind. All right, so with that, so we got 5 minutes. I'm going to give you a preview of our next episode, and I also it's a test to see how it works.
Are we going to the board?
So you should be seeing it populate here. It's going to take a little while because it's an amazing map. So it's a little bit of a heavy load. So I want to test it, and if it doesn't work, if it lags too much, I got a backup city map that we'll go into. So the VTOL kind of loads up your gear. You guys are handed hotel reservations since you're going to be there for a couple days. You basically have two options. You could stay at the bougie castle, which is also linked up to the governor's palace, or you can stay more in a local, like above a pub type, like in D&D type tavern.
I'd say we don't go for the above a pub one.
Don't go for the which one?
We don't go for the pub one. We go for the fancier one with better yeah.
Sure, I'm in. They probably have better drinks there anyways. Sure, I'm in.
So you guys are going to go to the bougie one?
There anyways.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, so your hotel reservations, you're given, you have your normal expense cards and everything for mission types things, and you load everything up. It's about a 4-hour flight, and so you're able to kind of go. As you guys are flying towards St. Patrick, this is kind of your first time that you're able to see Kilarney at its finest. And so off to the north, you kind of see the highlands, which are these beautiful mist mountains, and the hillside and the streams. There's lakes. It's just gorgeous. Amongst the farmland, you also see pastures where sheep are being raised and cattle and all sorts of livestock. But it's based off of Ireland. So how's everybody's computer doing with this map?
I got it up.
It, mostly.
Yeah, I got it, but dang, it is.
It's intense. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, but really intense.
Exactly like a town that would not stand up well to having a bunch of mechs stomping around through the street.
Right.
So
I,
You guys,
like Plan C.
are you guys able to zoom in and out?
You should be able to. After it loads, it takes a little while.
it takes a good while. It takes a good while, depending on your computer.
Yeah, every time I put my cursor over like a house, it zooms it in, or even the ground, like all the way up.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is everybody getting lag?
I got it,
I
but
mean, it's still loading in on mine.
Okay. So if not,
Yeah,
we
it's
can
still
have another
loading
one.
on mine.
So as you land into the bougie Star League Defense Force type of structure that you have, you notice that there's actually quite a bustling town. It looks really clean. It looks wonderful. It doesn't the description that you got from the colonel doesn't quite meet. So as you're disembarking the VTOL, this pompous fat man starts waving at you as he comes at you. And that's where we will end episode 1 of Knights Lead the Way.
okay. When you say he's coming at us, as in like he's just walking,
Yeah,
like strolling,
like he's
as
waddling
okay.
to you. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought you meant he was charging over, and I was like, ah! So. Here comes Big Chungus. So.
Yeah. So if this map we'll do is then we'll get everything and it'll kind of go from there.
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, gents. So it's 10 o'clock. We'll wrap up from here, and then so what we'll do is next week we'll pick up with the fat man coming at you, and then don't forget you got your other characters back at the home base that you can always contact.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Sweet. We'll see you gents next week.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks
Sounds
for
good.
watching the Knights Lead the Way on the Gaming Chaplain. Thanks y'all for participating.
Thank you.
Until next.